This is today's Nugget of Zen. Which came first? It's a silly question. You know what came first? Nature came first. That which is the thing we call reality was here, doing its thing, long before we puny humans came up with weird and silly ideas about what it is supposed to be. This place we call reality is capable of doing what it does without us. And yet, here we are. This thing we call reality, we like to think of as a thing that is separate from us. But in reality, nothing is separate from anything else. And we, the human species, collectively and individually, are an extension of a fruit belonging to the natural flow of that which we call life in this experience we call reality. Our conditioned mind is a result of our ideation and self-conditioning. Our unconditioned mind is an expression of nature itself. We have, for quite some time now, oppressed, enslaved, ridiculed, marginalized, and tried to get rid of our organic and unconditioned mind. Arguably, this agenda has been moderately successful. In this time of self-enclosure, self-distancing, self-discipline, self-care, self-monitoring, self-awareness, and dare I throw into the list self-investigation, self-questioning, self-exploration. During this time of global shutdown, let us be present in ourselves and connect with, as clearly as possible, if I may humbly propose, as directly as possible, if I, again, may humbly propose, as unbiasedly and unprejudicedly and undogmatically and unideologically as possible, with the deep and true inner phenomena of the very activity of being, not of ideating or having ideas about being. That's all fine and good too. That's what I'm doing now. I'm sharing with you my deep, probative, questioning thoughts about being. But I'm pointing out, in doing so, that there is a place where we can engage with our being in the act of pure being that is, contemplative and, what's the word? Wordless, ineffable in a way. In other words, like it's next to impossible. It's extremely difficult to describe. But it is there, my friends, deep within, underneath, behind, previous to your everyday chitter-chatter chatbox monkey mind, the narrator in our heads telling us about the day that we're having as we're having it, behind all that, before all that. If we can set all of that down and go and be witness to the very central portion of our being, the very core, the very raw, unadulterated phenomena of just being consciousness. There we can come to some, and I want to choose my words carefully here, some knowing, perhaps even some comprehension, some direct experiencing of that which is always sort of preeminent, and that is life itself. Life, the very driving, energetic force of consciousness, seeking what? Seeking the experience, seeking the phenomena of being life lived, living life, experiencing life lived. That's a fun sentence. Today's daily nugget of Zen is this, and arguably some seek for this their whole lives, so many may not be ready to hear it, but our lives, as fancy or as humble as they may be, are overly complex in the view of that which is life itself, for it is eminently simple and is happening at a place deeper within than we generally allow ourselves to visit and investigate. But if you look within, if you go there, if you go and sit in that inner sanctum with reverence and awe and respect and forgiveness, endless amounts of forgiveness for all those out there that are horrible and all the flaws inside that are horrible, and everyone, yourself and all those that you confront. If you can go to that place and lay down, set aside, abdicate all the attachments, all the conditioning, you will proceed to a realm of experience that is resplendent with direct knowing of the nature of reality. And some of that knowing includes like a confirmational knowing that that which is going on around you is good at what it does. And people are generally sort of half-ass at being people. And that we are blessed and cursed in that we can be aware of our divinity or we can be blissfully ignorant of it. But we are indeed inseparable from that which we might call reality, and that which we can all collectively call reality is indeed divinity manifesting. And therein lies the sort of secret key is to connect with oneself in that way that we have diminished and mocked and regulated and minimized to just as a way to manage stress. And that in that space, in that phenomenological center of the world that can only be accurately described as the place wherein you yourself experience that which we all collectively mean with the word me, quote unquote. And that a deep and true and clear and accurate perceiving of that phenomena, sans all the scripting, all the conditioning, without all the baggage, that's a transformative experience, friends. And that is the experience pointed to by all things Zen and Buddhist-y and, spiritual, etc. Because that phenomenological experience, once directly experienced, makes other positions untenable and goes a long way towards the effective healing of the hidden traumas that we are all coping with and working through and striving towards achieving healing on, that are part and parcel of this phenomena and this experience and this journey. And in that healing, well, therein lies the solution to many of our problems, right? Arguably. Should we get ourselves there to that collective engagement. And so, friends, I leave you to contemplate the nature of reality itself. And I'll wrap up this nugget of Zen today with the affirmation that, you are undoubtedly life itself, consciousness, the very brute force that we attribute to all of nature. And you can experience that deep within you. And that experience in and of itself is revolutionary and worth having. So make the time, take the time, create the time to meditate and enjoy the process. As always, thank you for tuning in. This has been your daily nugget of Zen. I have been your humble host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo. Tune in for more. This airy dreamwave track is called Absurdly Dreamy Wave Function.